December 1st, 1948, 6:30 in the morning. On a quiet stretch of sand in Adelaide, an early morning walk is interrupted by a strange sight. A man is slumped against the seawall. His suit is neatly pressed, his shoes are polished, and his legs are crossed. He looks like he's sleeping. He's dead. The autopsy immediately points to a violent internal attack. The pathologist finds the man's heart, brain, and stomach completely engorged with blood. But when scientists test for toxins, they find nothing. No trace of any known poison exists in his system. The physical evidence on his body is even stranger. He carries no wallet, no identification card, no driver's license. Someone had systematically stripped him of his identity, even going as far as to meticulously cut every manufacturer's tag out of his clothing. His physical form offers a bizarre contradiction. His hands are soft, showing no signs of manual labor. Yet his calf muscles are highly developed, and his feet have a strange wedge shape between the toes, the exact muscular profile of a professional dancer. Weeks later, police locate an unclaimed brown suitcase in a train station locker. Inside are modified tools, a knife sharpened into a weapon, and scissors filed to a point. And once again, all labels are missing. The only name found anywhere is Keen, faintly stamped on 3 items, which leads investigators to absolutely no one. We are left with a man who had either spent his final days erasing himself from existence, or someone else had executed a highly professional operation to ensure he could never be traced. Months into the investigation, a re-examination of the clothing reveals a tiny, custom-sewn secret pocket hidden deep within the man's trousers. Tucked inside is a tightly rolled scrap of paper printed with 2 words, Tamám Shud. It's a Persian phrase meaning "it is finished." Police trace the specific typeface to the final page of a rare edition of poetry, the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. Incredibly, authorities locate the exact book missing that final page. A local man had found it tossed into the back seat of his car, parked just streets away from where the body washed up. On that back cover, police find faint pencil indentations, 5 lines of capital letters, no spacing. Government cryptographers try to break the sequence, but fail. Over the decades, mathematicians worldwide throw every known decryption method at these lines. They remain unread. A local phone number is also scratched into that back cover. It leads detectives to a nurse named Jessica Thompson, who lived only 400 meters from where the body was found. When detectives show her a plaster cast of the dead man's face, witnesses say she looks like she's about to faint. She turns away immediately, refuses to look at it again, and begs the police to keep her name out of the official record forever. Jessica claims she once gave a copy of that same poetry book to an Army lieutenant named Alf Boxall. Investigators assume they have their victim, but then they find Boxall, alive, with his copy of the book completely intact. A man with a secret pocket, an unbreakable cipher, a terrified witness living steps from the crime scene. These are the classic components of a covert intelligence operation. In 1948, Adelaide was a focal point for Cold War tension. Just miles from the beach sat a classified military testing range and a functioning uranium mine. Violence soon surrounded the case. 6 months later, a man claiming to know the victim was found unconscious next to a sand dune. Beside him was a sack containing his dead 2-year-old son. Shortly after, the boy's mother was nearly run down by a masked man and warned to stay away from the police. The silence held until 2013, when Jessica Thompson's daughter revealed her mother had lied to the police. Jessica did know the man. She spoke fluent Russian, followed communist politics closely, and, according to her daughter, the identity of the dead man was known to people high above the police. Between the proximity to uranium mines, the threats to witnesses, and the uncrackable cipher, the evidence suggests we are looking at the remains of a professional hit on a Soviet asset. The case remained frozen for 70 years until DNA technology caught up. Scientists extracted strands of hair preserved in the original plaster death mask, the same mask that once caused Jessica Thompson to collapse. In July 2022, researchers at the University of Adelaide confirmed they had successfully identified the man. His name was Carl Webb, an electrical engineer from Melbourne. He had no military ties, no record in intelligence, and no Cold War connection. Carl's history was one of deep isolation. His marriage had collapsed, and within 7 years he had lost 4 close relatives. His wife testified that he spoke frequently about wanting to die, writing poems about his own end. The cut labels look less like a masterclass in espionage and more like the desperate act of a man ensuring his body could never be identified by his family. He was stripping away every tie to a life he no longer wanted. The unbreakable code that baffled military intelligence was likely the private, broken shorthand of a man whose mental health was failing. It was a message meant for no one but himself. For decades, we built a global conspiracy around a quiet human tragedy. Carl Webb carried Tamám Shud because he was ready for his own life to be finished. In the end, that was the only truth that mattered.